Gatorade, and Nike. Now, these are like deals that premier athletes get, like your Caitlin Clarks, your LeBrons, people like that, and it's rare that you see, Shedeur being a fifth-round quarterback with these type of deals. Now, I must say, Shedeur signed all of these deals, from my understanding, before he was drafted, because no one thought in a million years Shedeur was going to go to the fifth round. Maybe second if they was really hating, but they went unprecedented type hating.
NFL owners are losing their minds right now, and it has nothing to do with wins or losses. Nike just went all in on Shedeur Sanders with a deal that's making fifth-round quarterbacks look like first overall draft picks. The league is straight up furious about it. We're talking signature sneakers, player exclusives, and a branding campaign that's bigger than anything we've seen since his dad completely changed the sneaker game. While other rookies are grinding just to make the roster, Shedeur's out here getting the full LeBron James treatment from Nike. And trust me, the old guard in the NFL is not happy about a fifth-rounder getting this kind of spotlight before he's even played a single meaningful snap on Sundays.
There's several photos, bruh. It say legendary on the back upside down. Now, Deion Sanders, legendary Shedeur Sanders at Nike, posted by Deion Sanders Jr. Shout out to Bucky, the homeboy. So you guys can look in the back there. There's a brown pair right there. These patent leather ones so damn nasty, bro. My God, look at the patent leather ones, bro. These are cold-blooded, man. I mean, hella nice, bro. And then it look like it's a low-top red pair, but I believe those could be some cleats. Now, Deion Sanders, so here we go.
So let me break down what's really going on here, because this story is way bigger than just some hyped-up sneaker drop. This is about Nike sending a message. This is about a fifth-round quarterback getting treated like straight-up royalty, while first-round picks are still waiting on their endorsement calls. And this is about the NFL establishment losing it because Shedeur Sanders is rewriting every rule about how rookies are supposed to move in this league. First, let's unpack what actually went down. Coach Prime posted a picture on Instagram the other day, and most people just scrolled right past it. But if you looked closely, really closely, you'd see something that should have broken the internet immediately. On the back of these unreleased Nike sneakers, it said one word: legendary. Not just legendary, legendary. Upside down, flipped, different, just like everything Shedeur does. Now think about this for a second. Name me one fifth-round quarterback. Hell, name me any fifth-round player who's getting their own player edition sneakers in their sophomore year. I'll wait. You can't, right? Because it's never happened before in NFL history. And that's exactly why the league's power brokers are sitting in their luxury boxes straight up furious right now. Here's what most people don't get about Shedeur's Nike deal. This wasn't some last-minute scramble after he got drafted. No, no, no. Shedeur signed this deal before the draft, before he slid to the fifth round, before all the chaos and the controversy. Nike locked him in when everyone thought he was going top 10, maybe top 15 if teams were really sleeping. But here's the wild part. When Shedeur fell to the fifth round in what can only be described as insane levels of disrespect, Nike didn't back off. They didn't renegotiate. They doubled down. And it's not just Nike either. Shedeur's got a Gatorade deal too. Let that sink in. A fifth-round quarterback with deals from Nike and Gatorade. You know who else has deals like that? LeBron James, Caitlin Clark, generational superstars who go beyond their sport. That's the circle Shedeur's rolling with right now, and he hasn't even played a full NFL season yet. The source material says straight up, these are deals for premier athletes. Not good athletes, not promising athletes, premier, elite. And Shedeur is walking into the league with that level of support while guys drafted 50 spots ahead of him are still hustling for a local car dealership commercial.
Nike has, listen. Nike has heavily invested in Shedeur. The brand has promoted him on social media, designed player-exclusive kicks, and leaned into his legendary mantra. During practice and pregame warm-up, Shedeur Sanders has worn Nike DT96
Now let's break down these sneakers themselves because they are absolutely insane. We're talking about the Nike Air DT Max 96 Low in what they're calling the legendary colorway. These are player-exclusive versions of Coach Prime's signature line, but Shedeur put his own spin on them. Multiple shades of purple, metallic accents, and that legendary branding flipped upside down on the heels. When you see them right side up, you instantly know what they represent. When you see them upside down, while Shedeur's making plays, you know exactly who's rocking them. Coach Prime, who might as well be the Michael Jordan of football when it comes to sneakers, has crushed it with his signature line. His kicks sell out, create buzz, and make bold statements. But here's the real question. Besides Mike Vick back in the day, name another NFL player who's had their own signature sneaker and actually moved units. You can't, right? That's because it almost never happens in football. Basketball dominates the sneaker game, always has, but Shedeur is about to flip the script. And you want to know why Nike is so confident? Because they've seen the numbers, they've seen the social engagement, they've seen how Shedeur moves the needle in ways traditional football metrics can't even touch. This kid has something you can't teach, can't coach, and definitely can't measure by where you're drafted. Sports Illustrated broke it all down, and it's wild when you really read it. The article says, quote, Nike has heavily invested in Shedeur. Let me say that again, heavily invested. They're promoting him on social like he's a franchise cornerstone. They've designed player-exclusive kicks in Brown's colorways. They're leaning into his legendary mantra during practice and pre-game warm-ups. This isn't some small deal where they send you free shoes and hope you wear them. This is a full-scale marketing campaign built around a fifth-round quarterback. And here's where it gets spicy. Here's where NFL owners start losing sleep at night. Because if Nike can make this work, if they can turn a fifth-round pick into a sneaker-selling phenomenon, what does that say about the draft? What does that say about the scouting departments these teams spend millions on? What does that say about the whole system that's supposed to measure value in the NFL? It says the system failed. It says the draft process is broken. It says 31 teams passed on Shedeur
Shedeur being a fifth-round quarterback with these type of deals. Now, I must say, Shedeur signed all of these deals, from my understanding, before he was drafted, because no one thought in a million years Shedeur was going to go to the fifth round. Maybe second if they was really hating, but they went unprecedented type hating and made him slide down to the fifth round. Now, with that being said, we go ahead on over to Google, man. Check out this article right here because this is big time news, man, from Sports Illustrated. It says Deion.
Think about the timing here. All the headlines surrounding Shedeur this season. No first-team reps, the Kevin Stefanski drama, the Dylan Gabriel quarterback controversy in Cleveland, and of course the biggest shocker of all, sliding to the fifth round when everyone had him pegged way higher. All of that noise, all that drama, all that hate. And through every single bit of it, Nike stood their ground. They didn't flinch, they didn't back off, they kept moving forward with Shedeur because they know something the doubters don't. They know he's different. They know he's special. They know when the lights are on and the games matter, Shedeur delivers, and they're willing to put millions on it. Now, let's talk about these April releases because this is where it gets wild. There are black player-exclusive sneakers dropping in April with Shedeur's logo on them. Not Coach Prime's logo, Shedeur's logo. Ice blue soles that are downright cold-blooded. These aren't just his dad's kicks with a new color. These are Shedeur Sanders' signature pieces, hitting the market while he's deep in off-season grind, ready to prove every hater wrong. And here's a nugget people are sleeping on. Rumors, strong rumors, say Shedeur might switch back to number 2. If that happens, if he rocks the number he wore at Colorado, the number that became iconic to his brand, those number 12 Browns jerseys people snapped up are about to become instant collector's items. And you know Nike is already plotting for that. They're planning the number 2 jersey rollout, number 2 sneaker colorways, the whole rebrand. But let's circle back to why this has NFL owners losing their minds. It's not really about the sneakers. It's about what they represent. It's about power in the league shifting. It's about players owning their narratives instead of waiting on teams to give them approval. It's about the old guard, the traditional football establishment, realizing their opinions matter less and less in today's game. Shedeur didn't wait for the Browns to make him a starter before building his brand. He didn't wait for NFL films to hype his highlights. He didn't wait for permission from anyone. He went out, dominated in college, built a massive following, and attracted the biggest athletic brand in the world. And he did it all on his terms. That terrifies NFL owners, because if every player can do what Shedeur is doing, if they can build their own empires, regardless of draft spot or playing time, what leverage do teams even have? How do you control a player who doesn't need you to succeed? How do you negotiate with someone making millions off the field before stepping on it? You can't. That's the point. Now, I want to call this out straight because I know the comments are coming. People will say Shedeur is overhyped. People will say he hasn't earned it. People will say Nike is making a mistake. And to those people, I've got one question. When has Nike ever been wrong about an athlete's marketability? Seriously, when? They built their empire, signing stars before anyone else did. Michael Jordan as a rookie, LeBron straight out of high school, Kobe before he was Kobe. So maybe, just maybe, instead of doubting Shedeur, you should be questioning the 31 teams that passed on him, because Nike's track record speaks for itself. And if they're going all in on Shedeur Sanders with signature sneakers,
Bruh, these are cold-blooded, bruh. This is my first time seeing these. I ain't never seen these. Damn, do they say legendary on the back? No, but they say, bro, these are, look at the ice blue bottom. Look at the ice blue bottom. Oh, shit. So these are coming out in April. These are coming out in April, bro. These right here are coming out in April, and they got Shedeur logo in there. Now, something that I've been hearing, maybe allegedly, is...
Here's what's really happening. Nike is sending a message loud and clear. Talent doesn't care about draft position. They're saying stars aren't chosen, they're born. They're saying Shedeur Sanders has something that can't be measured by combine drills or pro day workouts, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. The legendary branding isn't just a clever tagline, it's a prophecy. Nike is telling the world, we believe this kid is going to be legendary, and we're hitching our wagon to his star right now. That's bold. That's confident. That's the kind of move that either makes you look like a genius or gets you fired. And Nike's betting on genius. Think about the visuals here. Imagine Shedeur walking into the stadium on game day, rocking those black and purple legendary sneakers, cameras flashing, social media exploding, kids in the stands rocking the same shoes, trying to be like him. That's not just an endorsement deal. That's cultural impact. That's transcending the sport. That's exactly what Coach Prime did back in his day, and now his son is doing it in a whole new era. And here's the wildest part. Shedeur is doing all of this while being doubted. He's doing it while people question his arm strength, his draft stock, his ability to thrive in the NFL. He's doing it while carrying the weight of being Coach Prime's son, facing unrealistic expectations and more scrutiny than any fifth-round pick in history. And through it all, he stays legendary. That's why Nike believes in him. That's why this deal makes total sense. That's why, despite the haters, Shedeur Sanders is about to prove everyone wrong and make this one of Nike's smartest moves ever. So, when you see those sneakers drop in April, when Shedeur rocks them during warm-ups, when kids are lined up outside Foot Locker trying to grab a pair, remember this moment. Remember when everyone said he didn't deserve it. Remember when people questioned Nike. Remember when NFL owners lost their minds that a fifth-rounder got superstar treatment. And then remember how wrong they all were. Because at the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders isn't just selling sneakers, he's selling a mindset. He's selling proof that your draft slot doesn't define you. He's selling the dream that if you grind hard enough, believe in yourself enough, and stay true, you can achieve legendary status no matter what anyone else thinks. And that's why Nike went all in. That's why this deal is bigger than football. That's why NFL owners are sweating. because Shedeur Sanders represents a total shift in how athletes build their brand, control their story, and define success on their own terms. The establishment can hate all they want, but they can't stop it, because Shedeur's already won. He's already legendary. And those sneakers, they're just proof of what we already knew. So here's my question for you. Do you think Shedeur's Nike deal is deserved, or should he prove himself on the field first? Drop your honest opinion in the comments right now. And if you think Shedeur is about to make everyone look silly, type legendary down below. Let's see who really believes. If you're hyped for these kicks to drop, smash that like button right now. Hit subscribe so you don't miss when Shedeur proves the doubters wrong, and turn on notifications because trust me, this is just the start of the Shedeur Sanders takeover. The NFL isn't ready for what's